General Hospital spoilers update for Monday, October 27th reveals that Nathan West will make a vow while Lulu Spencer deals with some alarm bells. Drew Kane will also face Laura Collins' fury, so here's what GH fans can expect. First, let's discuss Sonny Corinthos, since he'll get some difficult updates from Christina Corinthos Davis. Christina will fill Sonny in on Alexis Davis's tight spot and the deal she reached with Drew Kane for Scout Quartermain time. Of course, Christina will have to admit that Danny Morgan still isn't on Scout's list of allowed visitors. There's also the matter of Alexis's courtroom tactic, since it could mean throwing Michael Corinthos under the bus to defend Willow Tate. Sonny won't be pleased over a run-in with Jenzy Sidwell either, since we know they'll interact on Monday's show. Sidwell will push Sonny's buttons and eventually have a strategy session with Marco Rios. It appears Sidwell will consider the benefits of killing Sonny, or even Drew, but he may assure Marco that he has other ideas in mind to handle them both. At GH, Portia Robinson and Isaiah Gannon will be having a private discussion when Trina Robinson walks in looking unsettled. Trina will get the feeling that she's derailed a close moment, so Portia may admit her feelings for Isaiah once she's alone with her daughter. Portia also has a pregnancy secret that could spill, but she may decide not to tell Trina that part, at least for now. That said, the truth will have to come out eventually if Portia's going to keep this baby. Jordan Ashford is in the loop on Portia's baby drama, so she'll have to decide whether she'll blab to Curtis Ashford or not. In the meantime, Curtis will assure Jordan that his imminent divorce isn't her fault. Jordan may feel a bit responsible anyway now that Trina has pushed her to back off and let her parents work things out. At the Quartermain mansion, Laura Collins will do her best to put Drew in his place. After Laura rushes to Danny and Rocco Falconeri's defense, Drew will defend himself instead. Drew seemed to be making progress with Veronica Penne, Ronnie Bard until this setback, so he'll try to turn things around. The goal is to convince Ronnie to sell the Quartermain mansion to him, so Drew will tell her to name her price. As for Nathan, he'll wonder if Lulu's willing to let Rocco come to her with news about his dinner with Nathan, Liesl Obrecht, and Britt Westbourne. Nathan accidentally brought Lulu in the loop and will argue that Rocco deserves an opportunity to confess before he's confronted. Although Lulu will have plenty of lingering reservations about Britt, Nathan may vow to watch over Rocco and make sure Britt behaves. Later, Lulu may find out about Rocco's latest Drew confrontation and grow alarmed over him threatening to throw her son in jail. Elsewhere, Giovanni Gio Palmieri will once again make Emma Scorpio Drake his confidant when it comes to all the family messes he's still dealing with. General Hospital spoilers say Emma will comfort Gio and offer guidance as they grow closer. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Messy Syrup. It's me, Abby, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. General Hospital spoilers hint that Michael Corinthos may propose marriage to Jacinda Bracken. Will these two plan an extreme wedding step to sell a love story? Michael knows his alibi is flimsy, so he got Jacinda on board with his new plan to bolster it. Jacinda agreed to fake a romantic relationship with Michael and trade her current line of work for a new job that he's going to arrange. The goal is for Michael and Jacinda to look like they're falling in love, so Jacinda has already started planting the seeds with that selfie she took for social media. Jacinda also kissed Michael as they reached their agreement, so things are going well so far. Of course, it's easy to see where this storyline is probably going. Michael and Jacinda have already formed a nice friendship, not to mention they both have something at stake when it comes to trying to avoid criminal charges. Jacinda and Michael have a connection, so that could certainly lead to them falling in love for real. The longer all this goes on, the more likely it becomes that Jacinda will develop genuine romantic feelings for Michael. The same goes for Michael falling hard for Jacinda, so that could work in their favor when it comes to this alibi situation. That said, there are still going to be naysayers and growing concerns. Michael might have to kick things up a notch when it comes to selling this love story, so could a marriage proposal be on the horizon? Perhaps Michael could get Jacinda an engagement ring and pop the question down the road. Michael might want to make Jacinda his wife, partly because it'll sell their romance, and partly so they won't have to testify against each other if it comes to that. GH fans know Willow Tate has been charged with Drew Kane's attempted murder, but that doesn't mean Michael's out of the woods yet. There could still be legal trouble ahead for Michael, so he could double down on this Jacinda relationship plan if he asks her to marry him at some point. General Hospital spoilers say Jacinda and Michael will deal with some complicated emotions along the way, so we'll bring you updates on any other love life news. It's been a very, very bad year for General Hospital's Willow Tate, but a very, very good year for Caitlin McMullen, who has been taking Willow places she has never been before. McMullen has transformed the character from the sweet, demure schoolteacher she was 7 years ago to the erratic, shrewish, hysterical nurse that she is today. This week, Willow had another setback when she was sent to prison for the attempted murder of the man she claims to love. Willow swears she didn't do it, and we believe her. As Willow went through another emotional and life-changing week, Caitlin McMullen earned Soap Central's Performer of the Week honors. When Willow lost her children during a custody battle last spring, McMullen gave a tour de force performance as Willow lost it and ended up passed out in a catatonic state by the end of the episode. This week, Willow erupted in court again as she realized her mother was about to sell her down the river and recant her false alibi. McMullen showed us Willow's shock and desperation as Willow realized Nina was about to betray her. In that moment, she realized she was alone, even if Drew was hovering over her shoulders. Willow's anger came out in full force as she was carted off to Pentonville. She told Nina she would hate her forever, and we believed her. That's how powerful McMullen's performance was. By the time we saw Willow again, when she met with her new lawyer at Pentonville, the sweet and composed schoolteacher was back. Willow had composed herself while also showing compassion for Scout and Alexis and the predicament Drew had left them all in. McMullen slipped right into the Willow people could root for with ease, which also showed just how unstable Willow really is as she shows different personas to different people. When Chase arrived, the 2018 Willow was back. The one who knew what she had to do, but who wouldn't burn every bridge and stab any back to achieve her goals. General Hospital spoilers hint that Britt Westbourne will seduce Professor Henry Hank Dalton away from Emma Scorpio Drake. Could Britt make a drastic move to prevent disaster? Britt has been clashing with inquisitive Anna Devane, but she might actually land in a situation where she can come to her granddaughter's rescue soon. Emma refused to listen to Jocelyn Jax's warning and still intends to investigate Dalton, so she's inevitably going to land in some trouble as a result. That's where Britt may come in, since she's tangled up in the same project Dalton's part of. Jack Brennan is quite interested in the link between Dalton and Britt, so that may tie in with a proposal he'll deliver soon. Brennan is on the verge of making a pitch, and we also know Britt will ultimately get a new assignment. It sounds like Brennan might force Britt to gather information from Dalton for him if she wants to stay out of Steinmauer. Britt might even get paid for it, since she's obviously short on funds. And money could also be a motivator right now. Whatever the case, GH fans will recall that a courier previously delivered Professor Dalton's research to Britt for her to review. Brennan may want Britt to keep acquiring Dalton's research and deliver reports to him next. That could get tricky if Professor Dalton isn't cooperative or Emma gets in the way. Regardless, Britt is bound to have concerns about Emma trying to seduce Dalton for answers. This could lead to Britt trying to seduce Dalton instead and stop Emma from getting in over her head. Emma certainly isn't going to like it if her old foe sabotages her plans, but Britt may intervene for her own good. Britt could insist Dalton should stop wasting time with a little girl and focus on a real woman. Britt might seduce Professor Dalton to keep his attention off Emma and keep his trust for the sake of Brennan's assignment as well. No matter how it all plays out, General Hospital spoilers say Britt has another mess ahead of her. The tension in the October 24th episode of General Hospital was so thick you could cut it with a knife. Brooke Lynn and Lois had an emotional breakthrough. Carly and Britt exchanged pointed barbs. Spinelli shared his fears with Jason. Nathan opened up to Lulu. Michael shared his idea to cement his alibi, and Drew's rampage was interrupted by Laura's unexpected return to town. Here's how it all went down. When Brooke Lynn stopped by Sunny at Lois's request, she was reluctant to ruin the nice moment that she and her mother had shared in Atlantic City. Lois broke the news that she might be leaving the country, telling her daughter that she didn't want to do that while they were still in a bad place. She explained she had been approached to be a tour manager, but she didn't want to take the job without her daughter's blessing because it was for her client, Blaze. Brooklyn thought she'd do a great job and gave her mother her blessing, but was taken aback to learn she would be leaving today. She got emotional as she asked how long Lois would be gone, and shed a tear as she admitted that she needed her mom every single day, but something in her wasn't quite ready to move on from their conflict yet. Lois completely understood and hoped that one day she could prove she's learned from her mistakes. As Lois headed for the door, Brooklyn called out, "Ma!" to stop her, then rushed into her mother's arms. The pair shared an emotional embrace before Lois left. Carly was annoyed when she entered the Metro Court Spa's steam room, and Britt, who assumed she was an employee, asked Carly to dispose of some old towels and bring her another cucumber water and eucalyptus towel. Taking a seat, Carly reminded Britt that she owned this hotel and could throw her out at any time. When Britt countered that Jason wouldn't like that, Carly snarked that for someone who claims not to want anything to do with Jason, she can't stop talking about him. She added that they've been best friends forever, and Jason has seen her do worse than throwing Britt out of a hotel. Britt tried twisting the knife by suggesting it must drive Carly crazy that she probably tried to stop Jason from looking for her, but he ignored her to fly all the way to Croatia. Carly declared she knew how loyal Jason was, even to people who lied to him, and couldn't believe he would put himself on the line for Britt again. "So why don't you do something that justifies his faith in you?" she suggested. "I don't know, like, be a decent person?" Britt groused that she missed the quiet of the Five Poppies spa, so Carly told her to go back, quickly adding, "Oh, unless you can't." Knowing Britt was hiding something, Carly warned that between her, Jason, and Jack, someone would figure it out. After Britt flashed back to her medicine and the note signed by C, she declared that the spa sucked and stalked out. At the Brown Dog, Spinelli expressed his concern to Jason about losing James to Nathan. He wanted James and Nathan to build the same kind of relationship that Jake and Danny did with their dad when Jason came back from the dead, but didn't want Nathan to take James from the family he already had. Spinelli lamented that he'd promised Maxie he would keep this family together, but since Nathan was the love of her life, he assumed she'd go back to him when she came home. Jason tried to reassure Spinelli that Maxie loves him and James would have room for both him and Nathan in his life. Jason added that when he came back, he saw that Sam and Dante had built a family and didn't want to disrupt it, suggesting that perhaps Nathan felt the same way. Spinelli noted that Jason had Danny full-time since Sam died and feared the same thing would happen if Maxie didn't make it. Jason urged him to be strong for himself and the kids, offering any assistance he might need. Spinelli wondered if maybe he could talk to Nathan about coming back from the dead and not rushing to reconnect with his family, but Jason instead proposed Spinelli invite Nathan to dinner so he could see that James was already part of a loving family. "That's not only wise, but surprisingly full of heart," Spinelli smiled. "Perhaps you're becoming a little less stone-cold and a little more warm and fuzzy?" Noting Jason's steely glare, he quickly added, "Or not." Nathan visited Lulu to thank her for saving his life, and she marveled that he was the guy she found in the crashed car. He shared that it was difficult being back and not having any memories of the past 7 years, but wanted to be a good dad to James. Lulu understood what he was going through because when she woke up from her 4-year coma, so much had changed. Her kids were teenagers, Luke and Bobby were dead, and it all felt so unreal. Nathan felt like he could open up to her because she understood and confided his worry that while he was gone, Maxie had fallen out of love with him. Lulu assured Nathan that she believed he was the love of Maxie's life, and when she eventually woke up, she would be thrilled to have him back. "But if you're wondering if Maxie will choose you or Spinelli when she comes back to us," she added, "only Maxie can answer that." Nathan appreciated her being optimistic about Maxie's condition, and Lulu said that her friend would wake up just as she had. But when he casually mentioned having already met Rocco, she was taken aback to learn that her son had had dinner with Nathan, Britt, and Obrecht. At Haven, Jacinda recoiled at Michael's offer to pay her to fall in love with him and retorted, "To be clear, my time is for rent. My emotions are not. So maybe you need to find yourself another alibi." Michael apologized and explained that he just meant that they should try and have a real relationship so their alibi would be more believable. Jacinda eventually agreed and decided they should kick things off by posting a selfie on social media. Michael then suggested that if they wanted people to believe they were really together, she needed to get another line of work. Jacinda grew nervous that Michael was going to such lengths to create an alibi and wondered what he was covering up. He swore to her he didn't shoot Drew, and she told him she believed he was innocent. Michael explained they couldn't have an official money trail connecting them, so she'd be paid under the table, and Jacinda wondered what kind of job he had in mind for her. After he told her, Jacinda declared that she didn't want it to just be a cover, and she actually wanted to do the job and learn something. Michael wanted to shake on it, but she told him to make it more convincing and pulled him into a kiss. At Bobby's, Christina was stunned that Alexis was defending Willow, but she explained how Drew had agreed to drop the restraining orders, aside from Danny's, if she took the job. Scout arrived for a visit, thrilled to finally see her aunt and grandmother again after so long. Alexis curtly asked the nanny to give them some space, then sat down with Scout, who hoped her grandmother could help bring Willow home so she could marry her dad for real one day. They celebrated Scout making the swim team and promised to be at her first meet next week. Then Danny and Rocco entered, and Scout flew into her brother's arms. Alexis pulled Danny outside for a private chat and explained that the restraining order blocking him from seeing his little sister was still in effect. She understood how unfair it was and promised she would take care of it somehow. When the attorney returned to the table, Scout complained that she barely got to see her brothers. Suddenly, the nanny announced it was time for Scout to go. After they departed, Alexis told Christina she didn't want to make a scene because the nanny had clearly told Drew about Danny, and Drew must have ordered their visit cut short. Alexis declared that proving Willow's innocence was the only way that they could all keep seeing Scout, and Christina suddenly worried that she might try to pin the shooting on Michael. When Drew showed up at the Quartermain mansion, Ronnie recognized Drew from the news. He inquired as to how she was settling in among the Quartermain family. Drew noted that they had a lot in common, as he was also an outsider who had been on the receiving end of Tracy's wrath. He added that they had Monica in common too, as she also welcomed him into the family. Drew explained that he and Monica fell out because he made some mistakes, and Tracy prevented him from making things right before Monica died. After Drew exchanged some texts with Scout's nanny, Ronnie awkwardly complimented him on his speechifying and suspected he had an ulterior motive for his visit. Drew said that he appreciated Monica leaving the Quartermain estate to her, but if she decided not to settle in Port Charles, he would be delighted to make her a sizable offer for the property. Just then, Danny entered and yelled at Drew to get out of their house. Drew ordered the teen to leave the adults to talk, and Ronnie tried to interrupt the argument before it got out of hand. She hoped maybe they could have a civil discussion, and was stunned when Danny and Rocco told her that Drew had filed restraining orders to keep Scout away from her family. Drew said it was a long story, and when he brought up Danny putting Scout in danger, the shouting began again. Ronnie rushed off to answer the doorbell, and Drew hissed at the teens, calling them entitled punks. Drew brought up how they'd been with Scout earlier at Bobby's, and they countered that he didn't control his daughter's every move. Drew reminded them he could decide to protect Scout by taking her to D.C. and threatened to have them arrested for breaking the restraining order. At that moment, Laura interrupted. "I believe you're out of your depth, Congressman," she declared, striding into the living room with Ronnie trailing behind. "And now, you have a much bigger problem than my grandson and his brother. You've got me." Are you happy to see Laura back? Do you think Michael and Jacinda could actually make a good couple? Is Spinelli right to be worried about Nathan? Share your GH thoughts, predictions, and theories in the comments below. Rena Sofer has left General Hospital for the time being as her longtime character, Lois Cerullo, announced she was leaving Port Charles on the October 24th episode. Soap Opera Digest confirmed Sofer's exit in an article that published after the episode aired. Sofer moved to New York in August with her husband, director Sanford Bookstaver. She has come back to Los Angeles for brief appearances on General Hospital since, but her scenes in the new episode put a definitive stopping point on Lois's story for the time being. In the episode, Lois and her daughter, Brooklyn, mended fences as Brooklyn forgave her mother for keeping the secret from her that Gio Palmieri is the biological son she gave up for adoption as a teenager. They had an emotional talk as Lois told her daughter that she was leaving Port Charles to become the new tour manager for Blaze and was preparing to fly to South Korea to join the tour. Before she left, Lois told Brooklyn, "The second you need me, I will drop everything and come running." Before talking to Brooklyn, Lois had an emotional talk with Gio October 23rd, as she tried to convince him to give Brooklyn and his biological father Dante a chance to build a relationship with him. Lois reminded Gio that keeping the secret about his identity was all her doing. That before the secret was outed in May at the General Hospital Nurses' Ball, Dante didn't even know Brooklyn had a child, and that Brooklyn had no idea Gio was her son. Lois tried to get Gio to be angry at her, not them. Then, they talked about her cousin Camilla, who raised Gio as her son, and how much they both missed her. And then Lois tried to convince Gio to start playing the violin again. Sofer came back to General Hospital 2 years ago after more than 25 years away from the role which made her a star. Lois moved back into the Quartermain mansion and got embroiled in Q family drama. She was also right by her daughter's side when Brooklyn married Harrison Chase in 2024. Before that, Lois arranged for Gio to get a room with the Quartermains, not telling anyone else in the house that Gio was her grandson and a relative to others in the house. In the months since the big reveal, Lois left the Q mansion and Brooklyn fired her from Deception, where Lois had been a spokesperson helping sell the products. Lois returned for Monica's funeral to support her family. Now she's back to her original roots. Lois managed Brooklyn's musical career and toured with her when she was younger and could still sing. And now she's getting another chance to help a rising songstress in Blaze. General Hospital spoilers reveal that Marcus Coloma recently left his social media followers wondering if he might be returning as Nicholas Cassadine. Fans reacted with surprise and delight after Coloma shared a fun Instagram post with Maurice Bernard, Sonny Corinthos. Coloma posted a video of himself strutting down the street with Bernard as Staying Alive by the Bee Gees played. The GH alum also included #Staying Alive as the caption, so it wasn't long until people started filling the comment section. Of course, there was a lot of talk about the song choice and how happy everyone was to see Coloma was still close to Bernard following his exit from the show in 2023. However, some fans couldn't help but share how much they wanted Coloma back on the show as Nicholas Cassadine. There was even some speculation that Coloma's post with Bernard might be a Nicholas return hint. "I hope that means you're walking back into our GH lives," one viewer replied, which earned 2 emoji hearts from Bernard in response. Another fan tagged the GH Instagram account and insisted the show needed to let Coloma step back into Nicholas' shoes, especially since it could mean a reunion with Ava Jerome. "General Hospital ABC, we need Marcus back as Nicholas. He and Ava were hot, funny, and entertaining," the viewer said. Coloma responded with an emoji heart to suggest he might be on board with that idea. When other fans called for Marcus Coloma's comeback as Nicholas, Maurice Bernard offered up more hearts and even a high-five emoji to show his approval. Adam Huss took over the role following Coloma's departure as Nicholas, who's been stuck in prison away from his youngest son, Ace Cassadine. However, there's a chance the stars might align for Coloma to step back into Nicholas's shoes at some point. It'd be nice to see Nicholas as a free man again, especially if the show ever decides to recast Spencer Cassadine and bring him back to life. Whatever the case, it was great to see Marcus Coloma and Maurice Bernard having a good time together. Maybe it could lead to Sonny and Coloma's Nicholas sharing scenes again down the road. In the meantime, General Hospital spoilers say some twists and turns are still to come in several major storylines, so we'll bring you updates on all the shocking news and heated confrontations. General Hospital saw Carly Spencer drop in on Valentine Cassadine at Steinmauer Prison, and they made an alliance that nobody saw coming. But will there be a more personal aspect to this than just them working together to take down a mutual enemy? We're going to talk about whether Carly and Valentine's partnership may go from just pursuing revenge and turn into pursuing a little romance as well. Recently, we saw Carly give Jack Brennan a chance, one last chance to come clean and admit he recruited Jocelyn Jacks into the WSB. But instead of admitting the truth, Jack lied right to Carly's face and played it off. When she mentioned Jocelyn being in danger, Jack acted under the assumption that Carly was talking about Vaughn, Bryce Durf. Jack said that Joss was never in any danger and wasn't part of Vaughn's WSB mission. That's not just one lie. That's two blatant lies, and that did it. Carly was livid, but she held it in check, and he doesn't know how mad she is. The next thing we saw, of course, she was dialing up Damian Spinelli to arrange a very convincing fake identity that Carly said had to stand up to major scrutiny. Spinelli did a good job because Carly jetted off to Steinau in Switzerland and surprised Valentine. Of course, he was in absolute shock to see Carly at all, never mind her in disguise and pretending to be Valentine's lawyer. The shocks kept coming when Carly told Valentine she's going to take Jack down, and she asked if he wanted in on it. After talking to Valentine, we saw Carly was even more furious with Jack because Valentine was very forthcoming. He told her a lot of stuff. As they talked and Carly was asking why and how Jack recruited her daughter Joss, that got her thinking. And then she was, like I said, nuclear mad. Valentine explained how the WSB recruits and how they get leverage over people so they can bring them in. When Carly was talking about the timing of Joss's recruitment after Dex Heller died and his killer went missing, well, inspiration struck Valentine. He suggested to Carly that it's possible that Jocelyn killed Cyrus Renault and that Jack facilitated that to see how far she would go. We all know, Joss did kill Cyrus, and Jack set it all up. Carly is absolutely appalled that Jack, the man she was falling in love with, has turned her daughter into a killer, and now Joss is a secret agent who is living this dangerous life. So Carly's determined to ruin Jack, to take him down, and to get Joss out of the WSB. Valentine told Carly that neither he nor she can take down Jack on their own. So now Carly has made a deal with Valentine to work together to destroy Jack. When they were talking strategy, Valentine said Carly's the key to dismantling Jack because he trusts Carly more than anybody else in this world, which is true. Valentine was saying that Carly needs to go back to Port Charles and convince Jack that she loves him more than anyone and more than anything. But what I'm wondering is, while plotting to take down Jack, are we going to see Carly and Valentine getting romantic? Could Carly fall in love with Valentine and he reciprocate? We do know that Carly's got no problem dating a man who is villainous, who operates in gray areas. She almost married Franco Baldwin, who was a reformed serial killer and at the time she thought had arranged for Michael Corinthos to be assaulted in prison. You know, she looked past that. Carly is best friends with hitman Jason Morgan, and Carly was married to and made babies with mobster Sonny Corinthos. Plus, she was falling for Jack, a man who was arrested the day he planned to kidnap her, and she knew that. I don't feel like Carly falling for Valentine is a stretch. He's kind of right in Carly's wheelhouse of making inappropriate love life choices. And Valentine, he's got a history of dating strong, fierce, gorgeous, confident, successful, badass women, just like Carly. He was madly in love and married to Nina Reeves, even when she was doing crazy stuff. And for years, he was totally fixated on Anna Devane, even when he thought she was a double agent doing dangerous stuff. So yeah, Carly is also right up Valentine's alley. And yeah, he's a bad guy, but he's also a loving father, and I do think she respects that. I could actually see Carly and Valentine getting involved and falling for each other, especially because they're both nursing broken hearts. Carly with Jack because now he's crushed her, and Valentine with Anna because it's finally and really over. So, they're kind of both in this vulnerable, lonely, misunderstood spot right now on General Hospital. If Carly and Valentine did get together, can you imagine the reaction and the fallout in Port Charles? Sonny and Jason would lose their minds, and Jack would flip out if Carly decided to be with Valentine. And then there's Nina. I mean, can you even imagine she'd go full nuclear if Carly got with her ex-husband Valentine? Because remember, it wasn't that long ago Carly read Nina for filth, saying that she hooked up with Drew Kane because he was Carly's leftovers. Nina would probably have lots to say because she and Carly loathe each other. They are only polite when they have to be, which isn't often. So Nina may also try to go to Valentine and ask him, "What are you doing? Don't get involved with Carly." Nina may try to shut it down. I'm sure Jason and Sunny would, but I don't think that would work. Valentine, of course, needs to get out of that WSB prison so he and Carly can take down Jack together. I do think Carly may be looking for a way to make that happen, to get him out of there. She knows people who could help. You never know, especially if Jack was disgraced at the WSB thanks to her involvement. You know, setting him up for failure. I actually loved seeing Carly with Valentine. It was out of the blue. And it was surprising. It was fresh. And if they take it from plotting to passion, that would be even better. Carly getting wooed and falling for Valentine would be something new. I think it would be quite exciting. Not the same old, same old. So, I'm absolutely here for it because I love a good twist, but I would also love it if James Patrick Stewart was sticking around on a long-term basis. By the way, there is a rumor I heard a while back that Chris McKenna might be leaving. I heard it a little while ago, and then nothing came of it. He is on contract, but if they destroy Jack, well, it might happen. We'll see how it works out. But I would absolutely love to see Valentine and Carly's revenge plan ramp up and also turn into a romance. General Hospital spoilers for Octu 27-31, 2D25. Find Dante Falconeri suspicious, and Tracy Quartermain is fuming. As we always do on Early Edition Day, we start with what's coming the rest of this week to set everything up for next week. On Wednesday, October 22nd, Gio Palmieri and Emma Scorpio Drake come up with a new plan. This could be about the takedown of Professor Dalton, or it could be about Gio and Emma's developing relationship and the fact that he can't really be living under Anna Devane's roof anymore. Tracy has to defend herself. It looks like she might have spent the night over at Lulu's Spencer and is having to answer for how she's treating Ronnie Bard and for supposedly spiking her drink. Tracy is ranting to Lulu, saying that Ronnie is definitely hiding something. We'll see if she drugged herself, somebody else did it, or maybe Tracy did, and she's just fibbing. As everybody said, she did pull something similar on Alexis Davis. Jocelyn and her boss Jack Brennan have a discussion, and he may be asking her about Carly Corinthos Spencer, and about how her mom can never know that Jocelyn is with the WSB. Of course, right now, Jack and Joss don't know that Carly knows. Meanwhile, somebody very unexpected shows up to visit Valentine Cassadine at Steinmauer. I do suspect this is Carly in disguise with a dark wig. She may talk to Valentine about Jack and how he recruited her daughter, and maybe she's going to ask Valentine how she can take down Jack and get her kid out. Somebody gives Carly something to think about, so it's probably Valentine. Lois Cerullo is back in Port Charles out of nowhere, and she shows up over at Sonny Corinthos Ikiandi's place, asking him if he's going to invite her in. Ronnie tells Brooklyn Quartermain that whatever Tracy gave her, she more than got back at her, obviously by kicking her out. And Britt Westbourne is asking Anna, kind of angrily, if she has any evidence to make that connection. I suspect she's grilling Britt on whether anything that was going on had something to do with Cesar Faison. Anna already asked Jocelyn that, who gave her the "sorry you don't have clearance" speech, which was kind of funny. Brennan, meanwhile, is grilling Nathan West and says if he was involved, now is the time to tell him. He's showing Nathan something on a tablet in Jack's WSB office. On Thursday, October 23rd, we've got Willow Tate meeting her new criminal defense lawyer, Alexis, and discussing strategies now that she is being sent to Pentonville and bail was denied. She took Drew Kane Quartermain's devil bargain because she wants to see Scout Kane. He knew what card to play to get Alexis to do it, even if he had to drag Sam McCall's name out there to make it happen. Christina Corinthos Davis goes digging for information on something. I don't even know what's on her radar right now. Cody Bell gets acquainted with his new boss. So, it looks like he is going to have a talk with Olivia. He already knows Michael Corinthos, and Michael did get the horses, but Ronnie got the house and the estate. I just wonder if she will tell Cody that she thinks Tracy drugged her. I'm very curious what he'll say because, of course, Cody and Tracy are good friends. Also on Thursday, Drew is threatening legal action. This may be against the district attorney, the police, or Michael. Drew already said he might sue Tracy for wheeling him out of his mom Monica Quartermain's funeral, so maybe it's that. And Harrison Chase is thrown for a loop. He may be shocked that Willow was denied bail, or he may be shocked when Dante admits to him, "Okay, I talked to Michael and I'm not so sure." Dominic Zamprogna the actor who plays Dante, did a recent interview and said that Dante now thinks, yeah, maybe Michael could have done it. Friday, October 24th at Nathan and Lulu have a conversation and reconnect. Nathan obviously owes some gratitude to Lulu because she found him at the car crash and got him medical attention. They may talk about James West and Maxie Jones. Watch for any kind of romantic sparks that might come up there. Michael's plan to ruin Willow's life and keep her permanently away from the kids is heating up by the end of this week. Drew finds a possible co-conspirator. It could be the hooker, or heck, it could be Ronnie. We'll see. Brooke Lynn gets some bittersweet news. It could be Gio's moving back into the mansion, but Tracy, of course, is gone right now. But I think Gio would also tell Brooke Lynn, I'm not moving in for you. Don't bug me, or something like that. And Jason Morgan offers support to someone. I wonder if he is supporting Carly's scheme against Jack, or Michael's scheme against Willow. The week of October 27th through the 31st, watch for Carly to firm up her plans to destroy Jack. We'll see if she got any good hints from Valentin to do it. Ronnie's gearing up for a legal fight. Obviously, Tracy is now going to turn around and file a lawsuit because she was kicked out of the house. I think Martin Gray is going to take Ronnie's case. He used a very flimsy fake excuse of thinking he had Lulu's phone to stop by the house because he clearly wanted to meet Ronnie. Tracy wants Cody to remain loyal to her. She's also fuming about being kicked out of the house and denies the drugging. She's kind of stunned that a lot of the family seems to be taking Ronnie's side, or is at least sympathetic to her. Let's be real, they've all dealt with Tracy's shenanigans. Charlotte Cassadine follows up on what her dad Valentin said and warns Rocco Falconeri that he needs to stay away from Britt. However, I don't think there's anything Charlotte can say that will dissuade Rocco from staying away from Britt, the woman he calls his other mother in General Hospital. Jason and Britt continue to dance around their feelings for each other, but Jason's going to have to set boundaries with Carly if he wants a legit shot at romance with Britt. With Carly cooking up this new scheme, I don't even know if Jason can stay away. Drew should soon be making a statement claiming that Michael shot him. Willow's totally on board with the Drew blaming Michael for the shooting, and even more so now that she has been sent to Pentonville. By the way, Thursday and Friday, October 30th and 31st, are the first 2 days of November sweeps, so that's when we are going to see things really heat up. Also, Chad Duell, the actor who used to play Michael Corinthos, but who's been gone a year now, is stepping over into films. He's got 2 feature films in the works, but said at some point, not right now, he might consider a return to soaps if everything lined up right. Welcome back, General Hospital fans! The drama in Port Charles is hitting a boiling point as the walls officially close in on Willow Tate. Spoilers confirm that prosecutors are pushing hard for a trial, armed with circumstantial evidence, tying Willow to a web of suspicious activity. As Willow languishes in a Pentonville cell, her allies are scrambling. But their efforts may be compromised by their own dark secrets. Michael Corinthos, ever the protector, sees this trial as his last chance to find the evidence that will flip the script. He remains laser-focused on his theory. Willow snuck into the Quartermain mansion to secure a hidden firearm, an act he believes is tied to the terrifying stalking of Daisy Gilmore. Michael is relentlessly painting Daisy as the true architect of the terror. The problem? He has no hard proof. This is causing significant friction with Detective Harrison Chase. While Chase is personally loyal to Willow, he's a cop bound by procedure. He's pushing back hard against Michael's gut instincts, demanding concrete evidence, fingerprints, or timelines that simply isn't there. Undeterred, Michael is now on a desperate hunt for the smoking gun. Sources say he's digging into archived surveillance, from traffic cams to forgotten nanny cams, hoping to find the digital footprint that will exonerate the woman he loves. Willow's lifeline may rest on the shoulders of Alexis Davis. The formidable legal eagle has stepped in to run the defense, likely crafting a narrative that paints Willow as a selfless mother acting out of desperation, not malice. But the courtroom is a battlefield, and the prosecution is rumored to have surprise witnesses ready to ambush Alexis. The real question, however, is whether Alexis is even fit to defend anyone. This high-stakes case lands on her desk just as her own life is imploding, Fans are stunned by Alexis's profound and dark transformation. The moral compass of Port Charles is officially broken. In a chilling twist, ripped from a psychological thriller, Alexis and Christina have conspired to imprison Rick Lansing in the Davis basement, feeding Molly a stream of lies about his whereabouts. Compounding this shocking act is her baffling vulnerability to Drew Kane. Alexis has been persuaded to lift every restraining order against him, all while remaining ironclad and inflexible toward her own son, Danny. This bizarre favoritism, prioritizing an ex-lover over her own children, has left Molly and Danny feeling betrayed. This isn't the Alexis we know, and this internal chaos could easily sabotage Willow's defense before it even begins. All this drama unfolds under the shadow of a massive void, the absence of Kelly Monaco. Since Sam's ambiguous exit in late 24, the industry has been silent. No other major soap has picked up the versatile star, leaving fans to wonder if her time in daytime is truly over. While General Hospital plows ahead, focusing on the endless Carly and Sunny cycle, the lack of a strong investigative presence like Sam's is palpable. Fan petitions are circulating daily, but for now, her future remains Port Charles's greatest mystery. Raina Sofer has officially closed her triumphant and emotionally resonant chapter as Lois Carullo, with her final moving scenes airing on October 24, 2025. Her departure stings deeply, as Sofer's return was far more than a simple nostalgia trip. Lois served as the critical, emotional anchor for the show's powerful recent arc involving Brooke Lynn's adoption secret and the bombshell revelation that Gio was her biological son with Dante. Her final scenes with her on-screen daughter punctuated why Sofer's Emmy-winning portrayal remains iconic. Initially, Sofer attributed her exit to personal logistics. She and her husband had relocated to upstate New York, making the regular commute to Los Angeles for filming impractical and emotionally taxing. She expressed immense gratitude for the comeback, which had evolved from a short-term stint to a substantial arc thanks to fan support. However, shortly after her contract concluded, Sofer dropped a bombshell revelation that has sent shockwaves through the GH fanbase. In a rare moment of transparency, she disclosed that her decision was not solely about logistics. Sofer revealed she had been navigating an increasingly toxic work environment, stemming from unresolved tensions with an influential, unnamed veteran cast member. According to Sofer, the atmosphere became intolerable, culminating in a behind-the-scenes standoff that allegedly forced producers to choose between the two women. Determined not to fuel drama, but to preserve her own integrity and mental well-being, Sofer opted to exit gracefully. This revelation has ignited a firestorm of controversy and speculation. Online forums are buzzing as fans dissect cast histories, attempting to identify the actress at the center of the conflict. While many have rallied behind Sofer, others have questioned the vagueness of her claims. Compounding the issue is the deafening silence from General Hospital production. The show has issued no formal statement addressing Sofer's serious concerns. This lack of comment has only fueled fan frustration, with many interpreting the silence as an implicit validation of Sofer's experience and a failure to ensure a healthy work environment. On screen, Lois Carullo left for Seoul, South Korea, to manage Blaze's world tour. She left her daughter with a heartfelt promise to return if ever needed. A narrative choice that leaves the door open. Off-screen, the reality is far murkier. The audience is now left grappling with the disconnect between a beloved character's graceful exit and the intolerable reality that allegedly forced the actress out. Fans aren't just mourning a character, they are demanding transparency and accountability from the show they love. A veteran actress has left the soap opera, and another could be following suit. Here's the latest comings and goings casting news from General Hospital for the week of October 27-34. Find out the details, as well as if any popular stars from yesteryear are joining the soap this week or in the near future, and if any newcomers are boarding the ABC drama in contract, recurring, or day player roles. Raina Sofer wraps her run. Raina Sofer has concluded her latest stint as Lois Carullo. Lois left Port Charles to manage Blaze's music tour, but the door remains open for her return. Erica Slezak's exit possible. Erika Slezak returns to deliver a shocking announcement to the Quartermaines on Wednesday, October 29th. The One Life to Live alum reportedly finished filming her scenes, suggesting her GH stay may be brief. Next Generation returns. Asher Antonizin and Finn Carr both return to GH starting Monday, October 27th, bringing new teen energy to Port Charles. Mob drama intensifies. Carlo Rota debuts as mobster Sidwell, who approaches Sunny in scenes airing Monday, October 27th. Legal and WSB intrigue. Adrian Ancondo and Nazneen Contractor reappear in pivotal legal storylines, while Chris McKenna is back Friday, October 31st, to make a mysterious proposition. Raina Sofer wrapped up her recent run as Lois Cerullo. The character left town last week to tackle a new job as Blaze's tour manager. As always, the door has been left open for her return in the future. Meanwhile, Erika Slezak is back as Ronnie Bard, the late Monica's sister. Look for the character to make an announcement that shocks the Quartermaine clan on Wednesday, October 29th. Could it be that she's leaving Port Charles? It was reported that Slezak, who began airing on September 26th, completed filming her scenes on GH the same day. Asher Antonizin returns as Danny Morgan, Jason's son, and Finn Carr is back as Rocco Fonteri, Dante and Lulu's son. The teens begin appearing on Monday, October 27th. Carlo Rota pops in as Sidwell. Look for the mobster to approach Maurice Bernard's Sunny on Monday, October 27th. Adrian Ancondo gets more airtime as Marco Rios. The lawyer returns to the screen this week. Nazneen Contractor resurfaces as Justine Turner. The assistant district attorney grills Jordan on Thursday, October 30th. Chris McKenna gets more screen time as Jack Brennan. Look for the WSB chief to make a proposition to someone on Friday, October 31st. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you!